Oh, chicken now. Yeah. I know my dogs are watching. And if you ain't, you will be. If you are watching and you ain't my dog yet, you will be, because I'm Swede and I'm here to help you get busy living. What is that? That's one epic adventure every single month for 55 consecutive months. But first, we got to talk about getting lucky tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We get so lucky in life if you believe in good outcomes and you're willing to just fail and fall forward. But first, since nothing is worth having if it isn't worth sharing, please allow me to introduce my co-pilot on this journey, an entrepreneur out of Los Angeles, one of my all-time favorite humans. Ladies and gentlemen, put him together for the dazzling D-Rex.
Hello. Thank you
Hey,
for having me on once again.
always my pleasure.
It's been many, many times in a row, and yet we are still here doing this thing, getting busy living, not missing our chance to get busy living ever.
Every single Thursday, we are here live and in color for you guys, and we are doing this live. So please, if you have an opportunity to tune in after the show, by all means, do that. Share, like, all that stuff. But on Thursday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern time, we are here every Thursday. Now, look, there's been times when I didn't make it, but we've always been here.
Very few.
It's been a tumultuous journey, because we're just good people trying to do good things and get busy living in the meantime. And sometimes life happens, but we always try to show up here. We've only missed one day, and believe me, brain tumors are a bitch.
Well, I think that the whole thing is not about this podcast happening every week, though it does. And it's really not about whether it's me or you on here or who's the guest, although we do have a rather stellar guest today.
Stellar.
It's really about the big concept here, which is to get busy living, which is to make the most of your life, make the most of what's left, because it is indeed short. Once you get halfway through, you realize how short it is.
Exactly. If you're in the comments, please speak up. I imagine that we're going to have some people visiting us tonight that have not visited us before, and we're super glad to have you. We've got a super excellent guest. Things are coming together, D-Rex. We started this thing far before we were ready, because if you wait until you're ready in life, you pretty much aren't going to get anything done, right? So that's, why we try to hammer home this concept of getting busy living. It's not about being busy or about being alive. It's about the getting part. It's about going after what you want in life. And tonight's guest is such a stellar, the word I love that you chose, because she is living proof that if you believe, that good things happen to good people, and you stick to your belief system, and you are willing to take chances and be adventurous, that at some points in life, you might just become the perfect fit. And, as we have been building this thing slowly and steadily, and each week come through and try to offer people, our experiences and how we responded to them, introduce them to guests who have had amazing experiences and how they've responded to them, and try to learn off of other people's experiences. We always try to encourage people that if you believe that good things will happen to you, and this person is such a great example of how you can find your purpose in life if you are willing to keep on searching. And she's just prepared. She's prepared herself. Her work ethic, her dedication to what she believes in is it's impeccable. And so I can't wait to introduce her. I mean, should we wait any longer? Can we introduce her?
How about one more second while we say, hey, everybody who's here already, say hello in the comments so we can see who's here, because we want to say hello and we want to involve you in this conversation that we're going to have. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, why don't you introduce our guest?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the lovely Maria Carolina Salceda. There she is.
Where is she? Here she is.
Aha.
Hello, here I am. Hey guys, thank you for those beautiful words.
It looks like you already have some people saying hello to you in the comments.
Yeah. Yes, I'm so happy. I'm so happy to see them here. I'm feeling that support from my friends and my family. Love you guys.
Wonderful. We're happy to have you here. Look at all these people saying hello. So,
Hola,
hello,
friend.
everybody.
Hola, Paola. Love you guys.
Yes.
Hey,
Thank you.
All right.
Jonathan.
So, there might be some people here that actually don't know anything about you. So, what are we
Yeah,
going to
well,
start with? There's so much. There's just so
Well,
there's too much.
we are going to take an opportunity, obviously, to get to Carolina's story and how her and I crossed paths and how she became a part of the Get Busy Living podcast and this project in general. But for those of you that may be new to this, this is an effort for us to pay forward the human kindness that was bestowed upon me when I got injured a few years back. And the story is unbelievable. I'm sure that if you are a friend of Carolina's, that you probably have witnessed a part of it because she's been with me all along. And that's why I'm so excited about tonight's episode, because it's an opportunity to tell a story about how just what began as a casual friendship has now grown into what I like to think is a perfect match. Because where I have been missing some things in this project, we found someone that kind of can fit in there. And that person, this girl right here, has also, through our story, you'll come to find, has also been searching and missing some things. And it just so happens that the match is uncanny and imperfect. But for those of you that don't know, I am attempting to throw a huge party. And that is because I woke up out of a coma and found that my life had been saved by people all around the world that chipped in for a cause that was led by my friends. And because of my friends finding me in a hospital, needing help, and going to social media and spreading the word, and the word just going viral all around the world. And I woke up to find out that while in a coma, a video was made from the intensive care unit of me telling everyone that was watching, which turned out to be 20,000 live views, that if they chipped in to help me out, I would throw a huge party for everyone that chipped in. And so I found myself months later realizing that I had promised thousands of people a huge party. And when the diagnosis for me was paralysis with a spinal cord injury, it's kind of tricky to figure out a way to afford to be able to repay the debt of kindness that was bestowed upon me. So this project is an effort to repay that debt. So we're trying to collectively gather the generosity that was bestowed upon me and pay it forward. So we have a nonprofit organization called the Help Swede Walk Again organization. That is the namesake of the fundraising campaign that saved me. And then we also have this podcast, which is our opportunity to be in touch with our audience, to keep up with what we're doing with this effort. And because the month that I got injured, I was supposed to go to Cambodia for New Year's. If I had made that trip, it would have been my 55th month in a row of on at least one epic adventure every single month. But because I got injured, I didn't make that trip. And so what we're trying to do with this podcast is once a month go on one epic adventure. And this month, it was a surprise to everyone, including my partner that went on it with me. We went to Page, Arizona, and to Horseshoe Bend, which is one of the most photographed places in America, and spent a weekend up there just taking that in. And the concept of one epic adventure every month falls in line with the Get Busy Living mantra, because we want folks to take control of their life and not just take life as it comes and let life happen to you and just sort of be what life brings to you. But we're encouraging you to get busy living, to have a purposeful life where you are intentional and deliberately going out and getting what you want. So once a month, we are making it a point to deliberately go and do something that is noteworthy. It's not about vacations. It's about giving yourself a wonderful life. So I personally am making it once a month, but some of you would be happy to have just once a year. And some people want to live their entire lives on vacation. But for this project, what we want to do is we want you to tune in and become part of the community where we can offer each other's experiences and the mindset that it takes to be able to live that kind of life. So I know that was extremely long-winded, not rehearsed, obviously. But the point is that because of that type of spirit, both of the individuals that are here with me have incorporated that into their lives. And we hope that by following with us and coming along with us once a month or once a week, that you'll be able to get a part or pick up on the mindset that it takes to be able to live that kind of deliberate life. Hey, don't go disappearing on us, Carolina. So with that in mind, we want to talk about your, what your life has been like and what type of spirit that you have that has brought you to being a part of this. So, you and I were talking, and one of the things that I found extremely interesting was obviously you are very health conscious, and we here at the Get Busy Living Project want our audience to also become health conscious. So is there anything about your childhood that you think, might have contributed to that and you being so health conscious?
Yes, my childhood has a lot of things to do with it because I grew up in a huge family. I have 6 siblings, and my dad had to work so hard to feed the whole family. So we were like, we're so different compared with American families. So my dad barely could afford to buy expensive groceries. We didn't have the chance to eat hamburgers, pizzas, ice creams in the fridge. We just, our diet was based in rice, beans, lentils, veggies. And that's how I grew up. And,
It was mostly vegetarian.
Yeah, because when we want to eat chicken or meat, it was way expensive. So every Saturday we had the chance to eat chicken.
Oh.
So the rest of the week we have to share like a pound of steak between 9 people. So it was like this tiny.
9 people? How many siblings do you have?
6 siblings. My dad and my mom. So we're 9 people total. So
where are you in that hierarchy? Firstborn, lastborn, middle?
Number 6.
Wait, you're the baby? No, you're not almost the baby.
Almost the baby, but I am the youngest girl. So I was pretty much the baby.
And you were telling me about how competitive it was for you back then.
Yeah, because every time we were on the table in the dining room, I had 6 predators around me. And I was like, I have to watch my plate. And every time I blink my eyes or I turn my head, my food was gone. So I have to watch my food. And that's why a lot of people today is like, oh my God, how can you eat so much? It's because we were so limited when I was a girl. So I appreciate food so much. So today I love to eat like a trucker. Like I eat a lot. I love it. And then
so at the point in your life where you became more secure with food and there was no danger of not having enough food, how did that affect you? Like, did you still have food insecurity? Would you just eat as much as you could at each meal?
No, I really like my parents gave me a good example how to eat good. So although when I have opportunities to eat a lot, I was always very aware about what to eat. So and also I was telling Sue that I always been very outgoing since I was a little girl. I was like a boy. I used to play with the boys in the street, and I've been always very active and athletic, and I love to compete with the boys. Like I used to run super fast. We used to play. We used to stick the bubble gums in the ring bells and run away. And we used to hide behind the wall to see people's face. Oh my God, that was so much fun. So I always have a lot of athletic skills involved during my childhood. So I've been always
like athletic skill and playfulness, which I still see in you today. I'd say that's still a big part of who you are today.
Yeah, I think that stays in my DNA.
So surely, that competition that you had with your siblings, mostly brothers, had something to do with, your sense of adventure. I mean, I mean, obviously I'm from the US, but for someone growing up outside of the US to make the decision to move to the United States, that, I mean, I know that I realize that it's, somewhat of a dream, for people growing up outside of the United States to live in the United States, but still it takes some, some courage to do that. And so when you move to the United States, you were telling me about how, well, actually before that, you were talking about your friends that you seen visit the US and then they would come back after just visiting, and, share what you thought was funny about that.
I was always afraid to come to United States because every time my Colombian friends were going to United States for a couple months, when they come back to Colombia, they gain like 20 pounds. And I was like, oh my God, how did you gain all that weight? I mean, it's just breathing makes you gain weight. Drinking water. Drinking water is going to make you gain weight. So I was always very aware about it. So yeah, it was so funny because when
it's important that, look, it's funny that you were afraid to go to the US because, like, just going on vacation there, comes back and you gain weight. What does that say about what we are as Americans, what we're doing, as far as our food choices? And, like, people are afraid, like, there's this health at every size movement that's going on, claiming that you can be healthy even if you're overweight. And you can have good heart health. You can just consume too many calories and that can cause you to be overweight. You can still eat very nutritiously and be overweight and be healthy, but it's very rare. Most people who are not conscious enough to watch how many calories they're consuming and allow themselves to continue to grow and get bigger are also making bad decisions nutrition wise. So it's, like, we're not trying to point the finger at people. We've tried to be very health conscious here at the Get Busy Living podcast. We've talked about veganism in the past. We've talked about making good decisions. It's not that we're shaming anyone that doesn't agree with, our decision-making process, but at the same time, it's time that we stopped acting like it's okay to be so overweight. It's very unhealthy. Most people, like they say, there's this correlation between obesity and heart disease, and there's a correlation between obesity and diabetes, and a correlation between obesity and cancer. Being obese doesn't cause those things. But when you do things that cause you to be obese, those things that you're doing also cause these other issues. So we're not trying to beat anybody up or point the finger or make fun of everyone. We're just trying to encourage people to make better decisions, and what I found, noteworthy about your story when you were talking about when you finally moved to the US, you were so fearful of gaining weight that you, like, your first day there, you're like, you didn't have nowhere to go, but you're like running around the backyard.
Yeah, I moved to the United States, and since the next day, I was like, okay, I need to do something. I can't be like, the people that you see in the TVs or people that you hear in the news, like everybody's overweight. But next day I started running in my backyard. I was living in North Carolina in the middle of nowhere. And my backyard was huge. It was like a football field. So I started jogging in the backyard. And like 3 days later, I was like, oh my God, this is too boring. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start running on the road in the middle of nowhere. On the road. And I was running by myself, and people passed by in their cars like, are you okay? Did you need a ride? I was like, yeah, I'm okay. No, I mean, what's wrong with you guys? Like, it was so normal. And my family in Colombia and my husband at that time, they were like, you have to be careful. Maybe you can find a serial killer and he can kidnap you.
Says that. Why does everybody say that to somebody who wants to run?
People see that in the movies too much. So
yeah, they're watching too much true
crime. Guns and serial killers over here.
Yeah.
But everybody says that to someone who wants to start running. Oh, you got to watch out for the weirdos. Oh, they're gonna you run by yourself, and it's like, well, I mean, of course you have to be aware, but you could also get attacked by a weirdo going to the grocery store.
Exactly.
It's like, always be aware of weirdos, but you should run. You definitely should run. It's almost like people don't want you to run.
Right. And I was like Forrest Gump. I was like, run.
So wait,
So
before that, you weren't on a regular running program. That's when you decided to start running.
no, when I was in Colombia, I was in my 20s, and when I went to college and I got a job, I wasn't too worried about it. It's just because I moved to United States that I was like, oh my God, I have to do something. Like I have to keep busy. I don't want to.
But when you did come here, did you keep your diet relatively the same, or did you find it really was difficult to not gain weight?
Well, I always like to eat healthy, and I always love to I use lemons and limes on everything. Like I squeeze lime and lemons everywhere instead using dressings and stuff like that. And in Colombia we don't use dressings. We just, we do lemon, limes, vinegar, whatever. So I remember my family-in-law here in North Carolina, they were watching me and they're like, oh, that's why you're so skinny, because you eat a lot of limes. So everybody wants to do whatever I was doing. That was so funny.
The fairy godmother is trying to get you to stop running. You cannot run in Phoenix, a gym or track or field, maybe. Outdoors, there's a no bueno.
No, in Phoenix, there's no way. No way, no.
Yeah, that is some crazy heat. I agree.
So
yeah,
you were telling me that
because
I thought that the love that you express, what caught my attention about one of the things about your story was you were worried about how dangerous it was running, and so instead of getting a gun, you got a dog.
Oh, is she still there? I think she's frozen.
Yeah, it does appear as though she's frozen. So she was telling me about how she got a dog to overcome how dangerous it was for her to be running, out in the middle of nowhere in North Carolina.
And that's not a bad idea at all. That is not a bad idea.
I know. I kind of like the idea of the dog rather than the gun,
There she is. So, I actually feel like every person should own a dog, because there is nothing better. She can't hear us, I think. Let's see. Let's see if we can fix her really quick. I see nothing that I can fix here. Can you hear us? No, we cannot hear her.
Are your headphones plugged in properly, Carol? Can you hear us? Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us.
Okay, we cannot hear you.
Okay. Maybe this is why. No, it says cannot unmute your guest. Their mic isn't connected. Try unplugging your headphones and plugging it back in. Plug that in, yeah.
She might have to come in the studio with you.
Does your mic on your phone, or look at your phone and see if the mic is on there?
Okay, now it's on. It was off. But yeah, awesome. I don't know why, like every 10 minutes I'm losing connection. But if it happens again, I will walk to Swede Studio. So that way.
Okay. So we were just mentioning that because of weirdos out there and you started running, you got a dog.
Yes, I got a dog because my husband at that time was super worried about something happened to me. So I always dream about the German Shepherd, and we got Paco. So we got Paco when he was a little puppy, and he was my running buddy. And I started going on the roads with Paco. We're running, and of course it's a German Shepherd. So it was intimidating to see people watching me running with the German Shepherd. So he was my running.
I feel like dogs, there's really nothing better on this earth. How did getting a dog change your life?
I always loved dogs, and I was so lonely when I moved to the United States, because at that time my husband was in the army, so I was always alone. And Paco was like my child, so he was pretty much like a therapist, like support dog, pretty much. So he was with me for 9 years, and then he got Nacho, my current dog. But yeah, dogs. I adore animals. Everybody who knows me know that I adore dogs, and they can change your life dramatically.
Okay, now, oh, we're gonna watch video? Is it video
So
time?
that has something to do with
All right, hello everybody. We're out here in Destin, Florida. We got a boat for the day on a Thursday because we ain't got no job. But this is a very special moment. I could tell you, when I started out here building this business with World Ventures, I met a very special individual who had a very special dog, and his name was Paco. And we did travel parties at his house every single night. And we built this city. Paco, Nate, Carolina, myself, and they just came. And Paco was the mascot. And unfortunately, we lost Paco. But we are here to celebrate his life, and we will continue to celebrate it until the day we meet again. Right, Carolina?
Right. I just want to make it a special moment right now. It's the best I passed away a couple of years ago, but I've been carrying this for a long time, and I just want to have a special time today and throw his ashes in the ocean, and have all his beautiful memories. And this is what I want to do today. So I have his ashes here. So I just want to say,
We love you, Paco.
love you, Paco, te amo mucho.
Mucho.
Eres hermoso.
And Nacho loves you too.
Yeah,
Nacho
your
misses
son
you a lot.
is missing you every day, but you are in our hearts.
Always.
And here we go. You're gonna start.
We love you,
Paco.
Paco.
Okay, I'm gonna open the bag.
Do this side. This side.
And everybody say bye, Paco.
Bye, Paco.
I miss you.
We love you, Paco.
Oh.
That's really sweet. I think that's the first dog funeral we've had on Get Busy Living podcast. First dog funeral?
Yeah.
Well, that's really sweet. You shared that with us.
Thank you.
It was, so her love for animals is a theme throughout her life and travels, and that's something that really caught my attention because that's, especially these days, it's so hard to be in love with people, but there's, your tribe is different from one person to the next, and we preach community here, and if you're having trouble, gathering a strong tribe of friends. There's a reason that dogs are considered psychologically advantageous for us because they really do make a big difference in our life, And so by the time I met you, I actually met you because of Melanie, who was going to be our guest in a couple of weeks. So that's pretty cool that, we're really trying the community that we're building here. You're going to notice this recurring theme that a lot of these people that have the mindset that is necessary for getting busy living are, have been past guests or are going to be future guests. But by the time I met you, Carol, I was on my way out of the United States. And so by the time we just crossed paths briefly, when I was hanging out with Melanie, but the way that we got rekindled is pretty interesting. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how we crossed paths yet again?
Well, for some reason, I was invited to Bali. That's why
JFT knows a good thing when he sees it, doesn't he?
By the way, he's not able to be here. He's in a rehearsal waiting today. But yeah, I went to Bali with Jerry, and then he told me that he was going to visit you, but he never told me your name. So when I went there and I saw you, I was like, oh my God, I didn't know that was you. Hello. That was so funny.
So the moral here is that, you had an opportunity, yet again, another opportunity to do something that a lot of people would not be willing to pull the trigger on. And that's what we're trying to hammer home here is the spirit that it takes to get busy living, to live a purposeful and deliberate and intentional life. You have to be willing to pull that trigger or to take that step or take that leap. And you accepted his offer. He's like, hey, I'm in the world's most beautiful place or among, and I've got, would you like to come visit? And you're like, All right, then bags are packed overnight, not even knowing who you just know you're going to hang out with Jerry. And then he's like, I'm hanging out with my friend. And here I come walking in the room. I can't wait to meet Jerry's friend. And it's somebody that I knew from Destin. Imagine that.
That was so funny. I never expect that was you. But we had a blast. That was epic. That was an epic trip. Like we did a lot of funny stuff there. We had so much fun. Where was it? Where was it?
So that was on the boat. Remember we went on the party boat?
Oh yeah, that was so much fun and wild.
Yes.
That's so much
And
fun.
so, the party boat was one of the things we did there. But if you're not familiar with my story, I did have a monkey snatch my hat off my head, and I did chase it onto onto a 3-story pavilion, and the pavilion caved in, and I got paralyzed in the accident. And I'm not the only one that likes the monkeys in Bali. They're quite adorable.
They they are adorable, but I never chase any monkeys.
Yeah, don't chase the monkeys. We do not recommend that. And
Right. I think that's probably the secondary motto on this podcast.
Right.
so you were with us in Bali for about a month, and then you and Jerry went off
Yeah.
traveling. Do you remember
Yeah.
where you were when you heard that I got injured?
Yes, actually, we went to Bali. That was in June, and then we went in November to Philippines, and we were diving. I was getting my advanced scuba diving certificate, and we were diving like we went through 9 Japanese wrecks, and I have to take my advanced certificate because the boats are so deep. They're like 120 feet underwater, so I have to get my advanced certificate. And I mean, we were having a blast. I mean, it was so scary. That was, I think, one of the most scary things I have done in my life, like going into a boat wreck and you don't know where is the entrance, you don't know where is the exit, you just have to follow the master diver, and everybody's carrying a flashlight because you can't see anything, and on top of it you have to deal with the current. The water was crazy, like the current was insane. So we have to go down through a lot.
Oh, did we lose her again?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. What you're gonna notice, and when we get her back, there we go.
I'm sorry. We have to go down holding a line to go to the bottom. It was so extremely challenging, but we have having so much fun. And then we heard that you got injured. And it was like after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's. We were like, okay, should we stay here having fun and act like it's not our problem, our business, or should we go to Help Swede? And we decided to fly to Kuala Lumpur, New Year's midnight. So at 12 a.m. we were flying to Kuala Lumpur, and that's how we ended up helping Swede to
That's crazy that
save his life.
we've already had Swells on the podcast talking about where he was at when the clock struck midnight. I don't know if you've watched past episodes, which you can find on our Get Busy Living YouTube channel. But Scott told the story about how he was, scrambling to try to get into the intensive care unit so that he could be with me for the countdown. And right when the ball dropped, right when he said it was turning midnight in Malaysia, they came out and like, okay, come on, you can come in. They like kind of snuck him in there. And he came in right at midnight. So when Scott was like coming into the room, the ball's dropping or whatever, it's turning midnight, you guys were actually on a flight to Malaysia. Now I don't remember any of that.
No.
When I came to in intensive care, Scott was in the room, but I found out that he had been there forever, and it wasn't long after that you and Jerry came in. And so when I came out of the coma, I fell into a coma in Indonesia, in Bali, and had Micah and Drana in the room. And I came out of the coma in Malaysia, and I got Jerry and Carolina and Scott there. And, you know, that to me, I mean, I'll never be able to capture how endearing it is to have your friends come from other parts of the world to help you. You know, I mean, my level of gratitude for how much you guys have done for me, not just you, Carolina, and you, D-Rex, and Scott and Jerry, but man, there's been so many people. We've had so many guests on this show already, of people that have really, you know, become a part of this community and put their hands in the pile to help me. And you know, that's something that is really the fuel to the fire here, and why I feel so strongly about where we're headed, and why I'm so excited about having you willing to put your hand in this pile. And one of the things that, you know, when I was there, for the first solid month, I couldn't even eat solid food. And like, I remember watching you guys eating strawberries and being like, oh my God, I wish I could eat that. I was literally eating through a tube until this point in time. I don't know if you remember this.
That was like a perfect commercial.
My first time
chewing a chocolate bar.
You know, another bite.
What is it that you're drinking there?
Scott's giving me water, but it's the first time I'd ever eaten anything since I got injured. The first food in my mouth.
It was a chocolate bar.
He's eating Kit Kat.
Look at his face.
Yeah, this could be a Kit Kat commercial.
I know.
So
It's
it's
first
just
requested food.
crazy how, you know, we were just vague acquaintances in Destin, and you came to visit Bali, and then you came back to Malaysia, and you were the first person to put real food in my mouth.
Yeah, Kit Kat. Show me a Kit Kat bar. It's a Kit Kat commercial.
So, you know, I'd like to say something here. I mean, you saw the look of bliss on that guy's face with just
Priceless.
water and chocolate, right? Like, food is life, right? And I think that we take it for granted because we eat at least 3 times a day, right?
Usually, yeah.
And just the look of bliss on your face to be eating again. And the fact that that's one of the reasons that that's one of the ways Caro's helping you these days, is trying to keep you on track with your healthy eating and provide healthy meals for you. And that's something super important to you these days too. And I saw that same look on your face though when you ate fried pickles in Florida. So I hope that's not just a face reserved for chocolate and fried pickles. I hope that you can have that same bliss with some of Caro's cooking as well.
You know, that bliss it's for special moments. And when I ate those fried pickles, I've been trying to, since this podcast began, I've been, you know, in and out of dedication towards a vegan diet. And, you know, with Caro, one of the things that makes this such a perfect match is that she's, you know, she herself, you know, throughout her life, you know, we've already described how it began as far as her belief in remaining healthy. But coming to America and, you know, being so steadfastly dedicated to eating right, you know, and the fact that, you know, you're this far into life and having such good results with remaining, you know, steadfastly dedicated to a great diet. And the fact that here we are, you know, almost a year, D-Rex. So, you know, it was a year ago when we started talking about this, into this project, and I'm not sitting on any high horse about, you know, people that are addicted to food and have problems with being, you know, rigid and structured and disciplined, because it's very difficult to, when you've grown up eating a certain way and your body is, you know, used to that. It's very difficult if you find out that the way that you were taught to eat is detrimental to your health. It's hard to break that habit and stop. But having Caro here now, and she's helping me not only to eat right, but her exercise regimen is like, this girl's a maniac. You should see how dedicated she is, and not just the dedication, but the stuff that she does. The workout that she's doing, she's laying on her back and she's got weights on her ankles and weights in her hands, and she's doing these crazy crunches, and like, it makes my stomach, get more built just watching it.
You know what, Carol, why don't you tell us a little about your workout routine, because some of us might be interested, because you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and say, because you can't see in this podcast, but Carol's got a banging body, and I want to know what kind of workout routine you do.
Well, I used to run. I used to be a runner, but I did it for a long time, and I started feeling pain in my knees. So I had to change my routines. And now that I'm getting older, I'm almost 50 years old, and you start seeing changes.
Unbelievable. That is, can we just stop and, okay, we're just going to turn off the podcast now. I can't handle more information.
I don't have any bikini photos ready to go, but they're worth seeing.
Go on.
Well, knowing that, you start seeing change in your body, and I try to don't put too much stress in my body. So my routines are like 4 times a week. I'm basically lifting weights, because building muscle is very important in a female, more than doing cardio. And it took me a while to realize that. So I do weights routines. I don't lift super heavy weights. I just do 40 pounds. But
40 pounds is like a toddler. It's like tossing a toddler around.
Yeah. Pretty much.
She's so modest.
It's not too much, but it's enough for my age. I don't want to too much. I don't want to put too much stress in my body. So I think lifting weights, and in a not an extreme way, keeping my body strong, my muscles strong, doing it 4 times a week. That's enough. And having a decent diet. I'm not saying like I am like, oh my God, I can't eat anything. Everybody knows that I eat a lot. I love to eat. I love it. But so, I try to behave as much as I can, and it doesn't have to be like, oh my God, I'm a slave about nutrition. Like, I enjoy life. I like to enjoy life.
The weightlifting is, so when you're lifting weights, what the advantage of that is that when you stop lifting weights, even though the exercising is over and your heart rate drags back to normal, because your body is repairing those tissues, that's why you continue to burn calories well afterwards. So lifting weights is advantageous in that respect. D-Rex, I got a couple of videos that I want to show that demonstrate Carol's willingness to seriously go after life. And that's what we preach about the Get Busy Living Project. She hasn't always known, like you said last week, D-Rex, you don't always know what road is going to appear in front of you, but as long as you believe in the direction that you're going, she's always felt, she's always been very healthy minded, and she's obviously a huge heart person to have so much love for her animals. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull these videos up, but why don't you, D-Rex, walk her through these comments and let her say hello to some of her friends, because we got a lot of folks here that are trying to say hello to Carol for us.
Okay, what should I do? I should start from up here. You got a hi from Colombia.
Hola, Paola. Love you.
And you may not personally know Lori yet, but you
Lori.
will.
Hola, Lori.
You got a bunch of hellos.
Thank you. Escalar, Álvaro, Jonathan. Oh my God.
There's a lot of people here who are so happy to see you.
Oh, my niece, love you.
Hey, Sylvia, what's up, Juan?
Pablo, Papi, love you, thank you.
Jonathan says, I love following you on your adventures.
Oh, thank you, Jonathan. He's always so sweet. Paola, abrazo, Sandra. Oh, my BFF, love you so much.
So it's really wonderful. All these friends to show up for you.
Gabby,
I think that shows that you have a really strong network.
Mwah, Sammy, thank you.
I'm going to throw this video up here real quick, and I just want to say, as we watch this extremely amazing video.
Eliana,
okay,
love you.
Look at this. Carol,
Oh my God, that was amazing.
talk to us a little bit about what we're looking at here.
Okay, that was in Greece, and what was the name of this island?
Crete.
Crete. It was a cave, of course. It was a cave diving, and there were. There's a lot of archaeological sites in Greece, more than seeing life like fishes or sharks. There's more archaeological sites, and that was a very very challenging diving. And we were like with a super badass master diver. I mean, it was a crazy adventure. It was amazing. And you can see I was the one who was holding the camera. And it feels like you're getting out of your mom's womb, like, oh my God, that was like, it was crazy. It was
It takes a
amazing.
lot of courage. I've scuba dived, and it's very dangerous. First of all, it's something you have to take very seriously. But to do it in a cave and to have fossils on the floor of the cave, you want to talk about epic adventures. This girl has had a very enchanted life, and it takes balls. She may not have them physically, but this girl's got guts. Look at this one.
That was-
So tell us what we're looking at here, Carolina. Where is this?
Don't get distracted.
I'm distracted.
That was a glacier in Alaska, and I was so excited. We had to hike like 3 hours to get there, and I was so glad that we got there. I was so happy, and I was like, I need to get my butt in this water. I was so happy, and I just want to jump in the water.
How cold was that glacier?
Oh my God, I couldn't last 20 seconds. Like,
I can't believe you're taking so long to get in that water. Aren't you supposed to just jump right in?
It was so cold, and I don't know how deep it was. So, I didn't want to have a surprise,
okay.
like getting in there and like,
Yeah.
I'm drowning. So I was like, take it easy, slowly. But that was an amazing.
And here we've got Brian, who was our guest a few weeks ago, and we're going to have him back again as well. We got Nacho in the background there, and Jerry. So look, guys, this is the tribe that we're building. This is the community. Here you've got
Is that
several members.
Russian River? Or can I?
Look at this.
Lake.
It was high as the
Look at that
clouds on the side
water.
of this mountain. This is another adventure in Alaska.
We still have another 1,400 feet to go up.
So,
Are we there yet?
Not even close.
We've had such
like
amazing, such amazing adventures, Carolina. And you were telling me about how, no matter how amazing these adventures has been, that whether it's your love for the animals, even though you're feeding animals everywhere you go, there was, you were talking about there just being something about the travels that were empty. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's like, oh my God, you have the dream life, like you're traveling everywhere. And I'm so grateful. And, but I was feeling that I was missing something. So I was waking up every day like, I need something. I'm missing something more meaningful. Like, yeah, I was a lot helping the stray dogs, but I still like, I can do more things. I can do something more meaningful in my life. And on top of it, traveling so much, it can be exhausting. And I was missing the most little things that you have in your daily routine, like having your own bed, being able to cook in your own kitchen and eat whatever you want to cook, especially knowing that I'm so, I like to eat healthy. And those little details became like a luxury in my life. So I was like, I want to slow down a little bit, take a little break, and then spend more time with my dog Nacho because he's getting too old and I'm missing too much time next to him. So we decided to take a little break, and I heard that.
Oh, we lost her again. She'll find her way back. That's interesting that, we talk a lot about travel and about how much it adds to your life, and it certainly did add to her life, but it wasn't everything. And in addition, there are those simple pleasures that we do take for granted nearly every day. Just having your own kitchen to cook food in, just think about how often we take that for granted.
Yeah, and she was making that a point that, and that's where we're getting at, is that through all of the amazing epic adventures that she was going on, and I'm a firm believer in travel as a means to see the world, but as also an opportunity to see inside of yourself. When you're out there and you're meeting new people and you're being confronted with all these amazing opportunities, it's not always obvious, that you miss the simple things too, and she was talking about how she, just wanted to have, what happened, Carol?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened today with this technology. It's not helping me. I was ready to walk in the studio, so I don't know if I should or I should stay here.
I think you're going to be good for the next 8 minutes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
So you were saying how something was missing while you were traveling and you saw an opportunity here.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
continue there.
Yeah, I heard that Sweet could need some help here in Phoenix, and I was like, okay, this is a perfect opportunity to feel like I have a more meaningful purpose and go to help him, help him with to improve his health and cooking better, and give him a good diet, and then when I got here, of course I keep doing my exercise, and he was like, "Hey, Carol, I want to work out with you." I was like, "That's awesome!" So he's been working out next to me. I do my squats, and he does.
That's great.
He's lifting weights, and he's so motivated. Like, he's so excited every time. I'm like, "Hey, sweetie, I'm gonna work out. You want to do it? You want to join me?" And he's like, "Hell yeah, let's do it." He's so
That's
motivated. Awesome. He's the perfect partner. And also we're trying to swim twice a week, and we got the new goggles to snorkel. So he's swimming way better because
Swimming
he
laps,
doesn't.
baby.
Nice.
Yeah, he's doing awesome. Like, we have a couple videos that later we're gonna share with you guys. But so my purpose was to come here to help him to improve his health, but at the same time, I didn't know this, but more than that, I'm so happy and I feel so grateful to be here to help him to spread the word here and sharing all these keep busy living too, because I feel like I'm inspiring him to be better, and at the same time he's inspiring me to be better and inspire other people to be healthier. And I came here to help him, but it's crazy because he's helping me so much. Like, he's helping me to find a purpose in my life, and I mean, I'm so grateful to be here and sharing with our audience all these adventures and stories that we have enjoyed, and that's making a very meaningful change in my life.
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
I'm telling you, the poetry that is happening here, D-Rex, we talked last week about how poetic it was and coincidental that our paths crossed, and that your talents and your skills just fit so well with what I needed at the time and what continue to draw on. And the fact that Carol was looking for a little bit more of a settled lifestyle, and the fact that her talents and skills, as far as well, first of all, her knowledge when it comes to good health and her energy when it comes to working out. There's a huge need for that for me in my life. I've got this pool that I need to work out in, and it hasn't been easy for me to be able to get into the pool. It just wasn't in the cards up to this point. And so it's such a natural fit here for her to be able to come here and offer her health consciousness. But then once she got here and we started talking about the bigger picture here, and we found out that her talents and her skills fit in other ways, and so she has volunteered to become the voice of the Help Swede Walk Again. She and I are together to retell the story, so that we have an opportunity to re-engage with our audience. Because at this point, the Help Swede Walk Again organization has primarily functioned only on Facebook. And so what we want to do in order to be able to grow our audience and increase our impact potential is to retell our stories on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. And so Carolina is going to take a lead role in being able to be and being the voice of the Get Busy Living Project and the Help Swede Walk Again on these other outlets. So yeah, you can follow us on Instagram at Help Swede Walk Again with underscores in between. You can follow us on Twitter at the HSWA_org. And then you can find us on, obviously, YouTube at Get Busy Living and Help Swede Walk Again. All of these different platforms are opportunities for us to grow our audience. And we've had other guys, like I saw Sammy in the comments earlier. Good to see you back, Sammy. We've also made connections with others that we'll be releasing, that we'll be introducing as we go. And our goal is to just grow our reach and our impact, and eventually to be able to help, with things like helping Schaefer. He's the first person that we've got nominated for the Help Swede Walk Again to be able to help. And as a matter of fact, since we've got a little bit more time, I would like to get. We got some Schaefer action going on here, guys.
Oh, good.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I like my Schaefer videos.
I have no idea what he's gonna do.
So it figures that it would not come up very simply.
Oh man, you're such a tease.
Nope, got it.
Okay.
Come on, where are we at?
Come on.
Now, don't get it twisted. This is no small feat. My man here is playing baseball with Mez in the backyard.
Oh.
And this guy, they're working hard to be able to improve his life in the best way that they know how. And the reason that I love sharing Schaefer's story is because we really want to encourage people to put forth a little bit more effort in your life, and you might be able to get out of it what you dreamed about doing when you were younger. We all have dreams about what we're going to be when we grow up. And what we hope that you got out of this episode is that, like Carolina has done with her life, she's had a belief system that has kept her healthy. She's had an adventurous spirit that has enabled her to live such amazing adventures. Because of that adventurous spirit, we were able to cross paths and brought her to Bali. And because of the huge heart that she has, she's chipped in so many different ways to help, not only back then by being there when my hands needed a massage. Remember that? My arms were in so much pain. And at one point, I had swells and Jerry and Carolina rubbing my hands in the ICU because of the pain that was there. So her willingness to step out of her comfort zone and get busy with life and try to have an adventurous life has enabled us to cross paths. And now, because of her willingness to go after life, she has now become a part of our tribe, and she's putting her hand in the pile and helping us to grow this thing. So, Carolina, I just want to say thank you for being there back when I was injured in Malaysia, and for coming back. And you were there at Get Busy Living month number 1 at Grand Canyon. you know, and now
Yeah.
you're back at it.
Oh, we should have shown that video again.
Oh,
There will be
that
plenty
was
more
great.
opportunities.
That
Yes,
was
I want to
amazing.
see much more of Carol on this podcast. Thank you for coming on. I can't wait to come to Phoenix and get to know you so much better. We have not had enough time together. And thank you for
Right.
being here today.
No, thank you guys. It was an honor to be here. I'm
wanna
so
say-
happy, and I can't wait to be here more often.
Yeah, we're gonna
Okay.
be getting. I'm gonna be getting in better shape. I'm gonna be lifting weights and swimming. Thanks to Carolina putting her hand in the pile. So I just want to say
No
thank
better
you to
reason.
everyone that showed up this week. Come back every Thursday. Now that you've shown up once, by all means, look us up on YouTube. Subscribe to the show, and hit that little notification button so that you know when we're going to be going live again. D-Rex, thank you for always being my rock and always being my
Yeah.
steadfast co-pilot. Maria, thank you.
Always.
And thank you to everyone that showed up in the comments. And, I just want to remind everybody to always remember, no matter the weather, whether sunshine or rain, there's no joy without pain. Always remember, we're all in this together. Can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah.
It's a great day to be alive.
Tell us.
When you see me, but you gotta believe me.